All right, and we are live. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon and happy Tuesday. And
Happy birthday.
thank you for tuning in for another Career Tip Tuesday. My name is Sherry Sims, founder of Black Career Women's Network. Black Career Women's Network is an organization that supports the career development of Black women. And since 2012, we have been helping hundreds of women to help them to create the change they want to see in our careers. And along with us is the amazing and dynamic Miss Makita Matthews, who's our Chief Network Officer as well. So again, welcome to Career Tip Tuesday. So we're kind of waiting for some of our people from LinkedIn Live and also from our app to come in.
Mhm.
As you come in, please let us know where you are tuning in from during this lunch hour with us. And today's topic for Career Tip Tuesday, we're going to be talking specifically around what challenges when it comes to preparing for your next career move.
Mhm.
I think that's really what we're going to be talking about is those challenges.
Yep. We're going to hit about 3 to 5 points. So get your pens ready, get your notepads ready, and start taking some notes because they're going to be really good. But as always, feel free to ask us questions as we're talking. We want to make this as engaging as possible, and we're here for you. So we want to answer your questions in
Absolutely.
real time.
So I see we have Camille Hill. Welcome, Camille. Thank you for tuning in from LinkedIn Live. We see Christina. Hey, Christina from Cincinnati. Welcome to Career Tip Tuesday. Another Ohio LinkedIn user. We have Asia from Memphis. Oh, they're coming in fast. I can't keep
Mhm.
up, y'all. Amanda looked like she is in Maryland. And then we have a LinkedIn user from Brooklyn and Annette from South Holland, Indiana. We have Kansas, Missouri, and Chicago and Michigan. Yeah, I'm loving it. You guys are coming in quick. I love it. Robin Short from Cincinnati.
Yes,
Welcome, lady.
Georgia. Yes.
Hey, Robin. I'm so glad you. Oh, today's your birthday. Well, happy birthday,
Happy
Robin. All right. And then looks we have Maplewood. Okay, so we want to get started because I know we have a short period of time today
birthday.
to share with this. But today we are talking about challenges you face with the career move. So I know we all desire to either get a promotion or maybe just to have a lateral move to where we can just do what we really want to do. But it's
Yeah.
not always easy. So Makita and I talked about this before coming on, and we're going to just really kind of hone in on three specific areas. There's so many more. We could probably actually do an actual webinar on this too with Makita. Um,
Yeah.
but we want to just kind of hone in specifically on three. So I'm going to let Makita kick this off. And the first one we're going to talk about, and please ask us questions. That is what we are here for, which is important. Oh, look at that. Camille says, how do you go from being a baby professional to a big girl professional? I love it.
Oh, that's a webinar. I got you,
Yes,
Camille.
hold on to that title. Hold on to that title, Makita, because
Yeah,
you just gave us a webinar idea, Camille.
because, because I've been there, Camille. I now consider myself a big girl professional. So love it. Thank you.
I can't even say I'm a big girl professional. I'm probably old lady professional by now. Because when the first one is promotion challenges. Makita, kind of start chiming in on this here in reference
Yeah,
to what is
yeah,
the promotional challenges you face when you're trying to make a career move?
yeah. So there's two things really I want to say, but number one is you have to have that great relationship with your boss. Your boss has to be that mentor, that champion, that sponsor for you. He's got to be the one, or she's got to be the one that's in the rooms in HR as they're doing that little 9 box activity, or talking with all of their peers. They've
Mm-hmm.
got to say, hey, Makita is great. She's, getting these great scores on her yearly. She's always accomplishing things. She's always going out the way, et cetera, et cetera. You have to make sure that you are in your boss's back pocket. Like, it's got to be going to you. He's got to know, she or she, I'm sorry, got to know that you are always going to get the task done. You're going to go above and beyond, and you're going to do it gracefully and professionally. So that's number one. Always, always, always having a wonderful relationship with your boss, because you need your boss to be talking about you positively in those meetings that you're not in.
And I think just to also piggyback off of what Makita is saying. Also, I think that we have to think about these promotional challenges about understanding the higher level of a hierarchy, but also understanding specifically around where you are in your leadership competencies. Are you ready for that next level? Have you done the work where you currently are in order for you to go to that next level? You may desire to be a leader, and here's the thing: each stage of leadership requires a different type of leadership mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going from an individual contributor to a first time manager, or from a manager to a what they call a lead, or if you're going from a lead to a director, from a director to a VP, etc., or AVP, or what have you, there are different levels of leadership mindsets and competencies that go along with these. And also, are you prepared for the corporate diplomacy of all that, which we're going to talk about, which is one of our three.
All right.
So just wanted to share that specifically. A link that you just said, that's why I left my last job, because they wanted yes men, not thinking for yourself. Yeah, that's good that you did that, because you
Mm-hmm.
your personality, and that's another thing too. You have to have a high level of self awareness when you're moving to these
Okay.
next levels of who you are professionally. Camille says transfer to transactions. Absolutely. Um, she says, yes, please help me. She says 911. She said that's the end goal. Being older, yeah, vet ladies, we don't get the older. Yeah, we get better. Yes, we do, don't we? I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Sakia says, so what happens when your boss sets out just what happens when your boss sets out just to not like? Is it like you, for instance? Oh, my skip level manager told me flat out to leave despite having a graceful high performance. Mm, okay. Well, it sounds like you got a toxic boss.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so, with
Yep.
that being said, you've got some hard decisions that you need to make, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's either if you tried having a conversation with her to help her to be aware of what this relationship is like between the two of you and how you'd like to see it change and be a little bit more healthier. If you feel like you have the ability to speak up and have that conversation with her without retaliation or fear of retaliation, then do that. But if you feel like you cannot, then you've got some decisions on what you need to on how what you need to make in terms of how can I improve on this relationship with her, or if she's just someone who is absolutely so toxic to the point to where it's jeopardizing your employment. Yeah, you got some decisions you need to make, because that's
Right.
just highly toxic. Yeah, and not even called for. No problem. That's okay. No worries about that. I know sometimes when we're in trying to get it all out, it just happens. So no worries about that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I know we're moving pretty quickly through this. Tamika says, what's the best way to find a better position that will not take advantage of you or your time?
That's a good question, Tamika. It really is. Like Sherry said, know yourself, right? And know what you want to do, know what you don't want to do, understand what your skill set is, understand, what positions you could really be of value. And when you finally do get that opportunity to talk to HR, to talk to the hiring manager, be it a screening or an interview, take that opportunity to really interview them as well. Ask the questions that you need to, such as, like, for example, one of my things is I can't do micromanagers, right? So I'm asking the people, well, what do you do in what do you do in your spare time? I'm trying to see if they have a life, right? So that's some of the, things that I ask, and always ask the question, hey, can I talk to some of the team members as well?
Yeah.
'Cause you talking to the hiring manager, that's great, but to talk to some of the team members will really give you a more holistic view of that manager, how they like to manage, their style,
Mm,
uh, the kind of culture that you're really stepping into. So
yeah. Ask
don't
those questions up front.
yeah, don't be afraid. We should do more of, hey, okay, I interviewed with you, but I'd like to talk to a couple of your team members. That should be a thing. We should make that.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I think it's a great and that will also gauge if that manager is open to you talking to a couple, and maybe not say it that way. Say, can I shadow? you know,
Mm-hmm.
shadow and see the kind of role, in action here. If it's just one multiple role, depending on what level you're at, because that's you can gauge for the culture that way. But you should always have a list of questions to ask that person. If this is the person you're interviewing with as your manager, like Makita said, you want to ask about their leadership style, and you need to be clear about what it is you want from this role and in what you want to accomplish while you're in the role, in addition to what they want you to accomplish while you're in the role. It's a two-way street. You have a career to cultivate and nurture, not just that particular role at that job. And we get caught up in the everyday things of our jobs. Don't get me wrong, we all do it, but we still have a career overall that we have to cultivate, and making sure that our career over time is benefiting from where we currently are getting our where we're making our money.
Right, right. Great question, Tamika. Thank you.
Yeah. So I think we had one here from Crystal that says, is there a way to get certified in a role when you don't have a degree in it?
Absolutely. There are plenty of roles that you can get certifications in. It just depends on what you're doing. So, for example, I'm in the supplier diversity field. I can get my certification of professional supplier diversity. I'm sorry, professional supplier diversity certification of supplier diversity professional. Sorry. You can get your Lean Six Sigma Green Belt. You can get a Cisco Net certification. It just depends. All of the IT, um, a lot of the IT jobs now, cybersecurity, whatever, they have a lot of certifications. So do your homework and see which certifications are applicable to your field. Go ahead and get it. Sometimes your employer will pay for it, sometimes not.
Right.
Uh, but if they don't, take that investment and take that money, invest in yourself, and then go back to them and say, hey, I did this all by myself. I've got this certification. What's next for me? And sometimes, if they're not saying that that's an added value of you, take some time to look externally.
That's true. All right. So another LinkedIn user says, I'm doing a career change. How to get into a career where I have transferable skills, but I'm going up against people that already have the background in the department. What do I do? You know what? That's a very good question, LinkedIn user, because that kind of segues us into our next one, which is Piers the Boss. Is that right? I think Piers the Boss was our second one. Is that right, Makita? I think.
Yes, it was.
The boss. Okay, good, because I think that's what she's kind of wanting to be concerned with. So here's the thing: when it comes to going up against people that already have the background in the department, you do have to look at what have you accomplished in your current role, and then looking at those transferable skills and saying how those skills can be beneficial to the role that you're wanting to go into, and maybe kind of give some mock outcomes that could possible outcomes from you being able to utilize your skill sets in that role. Okay, doesn't mean those are going to be actual outcomes, but what you're saying that here's a possibility of specific outcomes based on me being able to utilize these skills in that department. Now, what you also have to look at is, are these skill sets the same as some other people who are already in the current role, and making sure that those outcomes have not already been achieved by the people who are in the current roles. So you have to kind of position yourself with this unique value proposition as to why it makes sense for you. And if not, then you may have to wait till there's an opening,
Mm-hmm.
right? A true opening to where they're either, they have three people in the role and they're extending on the head count where they need one more person where they can, because what happens is when you have multiple people in roles, they can look and say, okay, this person has this strength, this person has this strength. And now we need to kind of fill in the gaps with other skills and talents that they may not have. And
Mm-hmm.
you can actually be the person that can do that if you know what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Want to add to that, Makita?
No, I think you hit it on the nail.
So I hope that was helpful. Bye, Tamika. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate that. So here's the thing. I know Makita and I talked about peer to boss, and peer to boss is when you've been working with someone, but now they've been promoted into a role and now you're having to report to them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How can that be seen as a challenge? What do you think, Makita? How is that a challenge?
Well, sometimes you're with your peers. You have a very different relationship than with your boss, right? With your peers, you may have a little bit more of a friendship or give and pull sort of relationship. Um, Whereas now, when that person, your friend, becomes your boss, maybe you are being demanded of a little bit more respect, or your conversations begin to turn. Your boss is looking a little bit more to you to provide, achieve, accomplish, make that person look good, etc. So the relationship that you have can just change just naturally because of the conversations and your boss and you working for somebody versus you working alongside of somebody.
Yeah, I like that. And so you kind of have to you absolutely have to cultivate the relationship in a different way. Acknowledge them being your new leader. Support them, be positive, and just continue to cultivate that relationship and keep them as someone who could be an ally for you through your growth, through your career aspirations, and wanting to move up in the company as well. So I like that. Kaylin says, and we have to be watchful of our time here, mindful of our time. Kaylin says, "Hi, I'm 25 years old, degreed, and I work in higher education admissions. My question is, how do I navigate environments where you are the one with the younger team members and the old people see you as inexperienced or as if your opinions and ideas don't matter?" Kaylin, this is a tough one because what you're experiencing is ageism or age bias is what you're experiencing because you're younger.
Mm-hmm.
So you might want to call it out and call it out in a way that is respectful to everyone involved, but also say, you know what, I don't want to be stereotyped as someone who's young and inexperienced. I'm here to grow and learn, and I do have a lot to offer as a young professional. So this is where you speaking up for yourself was important. Calling out the bias, because that's exactly what it is. You're being stereotyped as a young professional, and simple as that. I mean, anything you want to add, Makita, to that?
No, nothing other than, I've been there. So I definitely resonate with um, your story here. Um, one way that I was able to navigate is, again, just having that good relationship with my boss and always making sure that I am working, doing things right. I'm going to my boss as soon as something's not seeming right, or meaning work wise, and not you know letting that person be caught off guard, etc. So your boss can really help you uh, uh, with the navigation of working with older uh, associates. Just make sure
Yeah.
you're doing
Here's a
what you're.
piece of advice. Do not let any self-doubt creep in at
Mhm,
all. You know what you are capable of, you know your abilities, you know how you are performing.
mhm,
Keep that in mind, stand true to that, and speak up for yourself.
mhm,
You
mhm.
know me, I'm like, call the bias out, call it out. And I think it's going to do that. We got a couple more we can answer, and we need to wrap up with our last one. LinkedIn user says, I have an arts degree and I have been working in higher ed for the last 4 years. I feel burnt out and I don't know where to start with making a new game plan for my career. Do you have any resources for making a roadmap for yourself? Absolutely, we do. We have plenty in our app.
Yeah.
So you can become a part of our community if you are looking for resources, and you can do that with our mobile app. We have you can, if you are a Google, if you are a Android or Apple user, either one, just go type into your store or your Google Play Black Careers Network and download our app, and we have resources, communities, and support to help you with that for sure. All right. LinkedIn user says this is good, very helpful information. Thank you both for keeping us informed on how to move and successfully in this working. Well, absolutely, that is what we are here for.
Mhm.
Kaylin, you are welcome.
You,
Absolutely welcome.
Caitlin, I think you might have given us another, topic, just navigating um, multi-generational environments. I think that that's something that people talk about, right? But it could potentially be a little different uh, for Black women, as it always is, right?
Yeah.
Because there's another layer of bias. There's another layer of
So I know Makita's going to have to jump off soon, so it just may be me to answer some more of these questions if she has to jump off. But Sharon says I moved from peer to supervisor and the dynamics changed. I learned from my former peers on a new level. Sharon, that's good that you were able to get that support so you can understand how to move in that new space as that next level leader. So that's good that you received that.
mm-hmm.
Mercedes says she works in the bank, but she's not the only person of color in her branch. She says, what can I do myself to motivate myself to level up in the manager role, but put my fears in the back burner, especially since this is a toxic work environment. Yeah, Mercedes, come on over to BCWN. Join, download the app, come in the community. We got to, and join us and we can help to support you through that. If it is a toxic environment, you kind of weigh the pros and cons on whether you
Mm-hmm.
stay or go somewhere else and get what you need. So
Right,
you got to get clear about that first, and only you can make that
right,
decision.
right. And in that process that you're doing that, I highly recommend, again, like Sherry said, not allowing self-doubt to creep in. Do what you do. I love positive affirmations in the morning. It really sets, it off right. It gives you a reminder. I am,
Mhm.
that Black career woman, right? So I'm doing a good job. I'm doing the best I can. And I'm just going to have to navigate and get through this day. And while you're doing that, look at exiting that toxic
Yeah.
environment.
Build your
But you
tribe.
have so
Yep.
bye everyone.
Bye, Makita. So build your tribe of people that can support you. That's what we can say is build your tribe of people that can support you. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up with this last one before we go, which is corporate diplomacy. And with corporate diplomacy, this is about understanding the political landscape of where you work. Because if you're looking to go into leadership or level up or that next career move, you have to absolutely be politically savvy. So again, understanding the political climate, the hierarchy, who are your influencers, the leaders in your workplace is important for you in order for you to be able to continue to cultivate those relationships moving forward. Um, all right, so I know we have got to wrap up. I know this was a very, very quick career tip Tuesday that we are bringing in. But again, if you all are you're more than happy, we would love for you to join us in our community. Download our app, it's Black Career Women's app, and you can download it from Google Play or from the Google Store. Please join our community. This is where you can find us, where we navigate, we talk, we have videos, we have downloadables, we have our different communities, we have events and everything. And we actually go live. We actually are live right now in our community. We actually are live right now in our community. So we went live here and on LinkedIn. So we'd love for you to join us and get connected with us that way. So again, Sakita says, I have to leave with y'all with this. I've always have an issue with being highly confident. Even one employer sent me a letter telling me that that's why they let me go, because I wanted to just add, always stand your ground respectfully. And I don't know what your beliefs are, but trust in God. Yes, you got to do that. Trust God through the process. And here's the thing. You're going to always have toxic people that you're going to experience in certain stages of your career or in certain places. But you have to always know who you are as a professional, stand truth in who you are, and don't let anybody break that, right? Here's my thing. I always tell my daughter this. Never let anybody tell you who you are. You know who you are. So they may have a certain perception of you in the workplace, doesn't necessarily mean that that's who you are. So you have to make sure that you understand that it stands in your truth. A LinkedIn user says, I'm making career transition to tech. I hear a lot about ageism. What do you think about that? We just talked about ageism. It's your responsibility to call it out and let them know, if you're experiencing that. Now, if you're talking about in terms of ageism, in terms of opportunities, there are a lot of opportunities out there in the tech space. You're just going to have to be very strategic about where you want to be. And then you want to be in a place that's going to not have those challenges. So it's about you being able to navigate and making sure that you're making the right decision of where you want to land. So just want to leave you with that. Okay, I know some of you are asking specifically of where can I download the app. Again, you can go to the Google Play Store or Apple Store or Google Play and download the app. It's called Black Career Women's Network. We would love for you to get connected and join us in our community on our app. We are here. We would love for you to join and get connected with us. And I want to leave you with this. The life God gave you is larger than the life you've been living, which means God gives us all special gifts and talents, and it's our job to use those talents and gifts to work in our purpose. So I hope you have an amazing rest of your work week, and we will see you next time on Career Tip Tuesday. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.